All right, we're going to continue with our whiteboard lesson where we are talking about what is Zen. It sounds like something out of a movie. What is Zen? And we're going to let's get a darker color. Let's get, let's start off with purple. What is Zen? What is Zen? And we know that we've already said that's better. What is Zen? Maybe we can get our camera a little bit closer. Uh, Break it down a little bit more so we can cover most of the area. Well, let's see. Let's come back up a little bit. What is Zen? We said that Zen uh, is slash a way of seeing life. A way of seeing life. Now, and that's exactly what Zen is. We talked about also from the point of view of it being very simple. And we wanted to emphasize three things. Yesterday we talked about awareness. We're going to hear that a lot. We also talked about something called balance. We've heard that word many times. And we talked about something called simplicity. It's Licity. Simplicity. These three things we're going to focus on with our attention. And we also are going to, yesterday we talked about these areas that we were going to cover. The main one was non-duality. D-U-A-L-I-T-Y. Non-duality. And we started talking about non-duality is a division. Use a division sign because it divides the world into opposites. And I think what I want to say that you probably will remember is opposites plus matters. That's kind of opposite. But we know also hot, cold. We could use up, down. All these are opposites. Success, failure, right, wrong. All of these are opposites. And we know. We also know that reality, reality is when uh, division disappears. It don't vanish because our ego keeps us divided. And more than any one particular thing, this ego is who we think we are, who we think we are. And we've been told this from the very beginning that this is who we are. And so we try to live up to that. Today we're going to continue as we talk about non-duality. We're going to get rid of this. Remember I said yesterday, good thing about a whiteboard is you can erase and start over. So we're going to come back. We'll get our pen over here. We're going to come back with our discussion of non-duality. Non-duality. And we were beginning to give some examples if you were following us on yesterday's video. And you can always go back to yesterday's video if you want to follow us. We talked about what reality uh, is not, and I emphasize the not, divided. Life is not divided. It may seem like it's divided, but it's not. And because it's not divided, we can we kind of conclude that reality equals, we call it, reality is when life is experienced as and I want to write this because I think it's important, continuous whole. You take a pie and you can divide that pie up into different slices. Now those slices, these parts of the pie, is not the whole pie. They're just parts of the pie, different parts. But the pie as a whole is what life is. Life is a continuous whole. And we said we we're going to give you some examples. A sunset is an example. And maybe we want to bring our yellow pen back again. We had it out. Might as well use it to represent a sunset. And a lot of times when you watch a sunset without thinking about it, that's life as a whole. Because when there are no thoughts about what's happening, life becomes one whole. So when we start talking about reality being part of a whole, that's what we mean. There's another way looking at separation, because that's how we live with these opposites. And the only way we can actually experience life as a whole, is by, I call it awareness. And each day, whether we know it or not, life goes on. Let's make our stick man. And I like to talk about the stick man. Give him a little smiley face. And we'll be able to see. This is the mind. Or not the mind, the body actually. I call this the body. This the mind. And this is the soul. And what we're trying to do is become aware of all three, but not in relation to each other necessarily. And that's how we want to look at it. But the non-duality comes into the picture. And when we start seeing life before the mind divides it up. And the mind is quick to do that. No division. No division. No dividing. How does that happen? That happens through awareness. And of course, if the mind is not divided, then the body won't get divided either. Now, what can help us is our spiritual life. Some people call it prayer. I call it meditation. And you're going to hear that word a lot, too, in our lectures. Wow, 12 minutes have gone by already, and we're not anywhere near where we want to be, but we'll continue. Hopefully you will join us in our next lesson.